Welcome back, League fanboys and fangirls, to our MSI edition of Running Down Mid. Man, it's a month long of MSI, like literally a month long tournament. So last year, what was 2 weeks is now spread out to 4 weeks, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I'm kind of happy and kind of sad because it's definitely going to be a burnout for some of the teams that are going to be participating in the tournament. But we also get to see a lot of talent across a large spectrum of different regions. And, you know, some of that action can be pretty intense.
Yeah, so last year was just there's 13 teams, double the teams that there were last year. I'm pretty sure last MSI it was just the 6. And you went straight into your double round robin, spit out your 4 teams for your corner, your semis, and then you went straight into your finals. Granted, if anybody watched last year, CLG for North America ended in the finals against SKT, and then SKT did what SKT does, and they won. This year, NA doesn't even get the luxury of being part of the teams that just sit and wait for the play-in. TSM is part of the play-in right now. So right now they are waiting to take on Gigabyte Marines. Gigabyte Marines was one of the 8 teams that had to play in, that had to struggle for that spot. The other team would be Supermassive. Supermassive will be taking on Dire Wolves.
Flash Wolves.
I'm sorry, Flash Wolves. Dire Wolves was one of the playing teams. Then the winners of those will automatically go into group stage, and then the loser of the TSM match and the loser of the Flash Wolf match will play a best-of-5 series to get the final spot in the MSI's main group tournament. Then they do 2 weeks of double round robins, kicks out to your semifinals. Semifinals on Friday and Saturday, and then with your finals following up on Sunday on May 21st. So, I mean, it's May 1st now. The tournament already started. So, literally 4 weeks of MSI compared to 2 weeks last year. And I want to say that that's probably because of the new contract that Riot has going on for their television next year.
Yeah, I think they're trying to better invest as a whole in all of their regions to kind of jumpstart what's going to end up happening next season.
I agree.
And whether or not they go with the franchising model or not, there's been talks of it here and there. Nothing concrete, but that lucrative deal, and I think it came down to like, what, $50 million a year?
Yeah.
For 7 years?
For 7 years, yeah.
So
for the next 7 years.
That's a lot of money, and I know that they're using that money wisely to invest and make sure that this is a profitable.
Yeah. So we already talked about it, I think, in our very first episode on how MSI really didn't count and how Riot doesn't have very many tournaments, and they really are like, okay, well, we have 2 tournaments that we sponsor, MSI and Worlds, and we need to make MSI as production value and as hyped up as Worlds, and so now it is. What teams do this MSI next Worlds will constitute their seeding for the following MSI, which constitutes your seeding for Worlds. So no longer is this not really going to matter. What you do here matters, especially for some of these smaller region people that, you know, don't get a main shot on the big stage anymore. I mean, you're always going to have your LMS and LCKs and LS and North American LCS and EU. Like, you're always going to have those big powerhouses here on these tournaments. But I mean, smaller regions, they need tournaments like this. And this
is like the Turkish Championship.
Yeah, so this is going to give you a chance to be on that big stage. And Supermassive for Turkey and Gigabyte Marines for the Vietnam region. This is a huge step for them, and they both look right now primed to move on into MSI.
Yeah, let's jump into Gigabyte. I obviously don't follow the Vietnam Championship Series. Probably every time I see them in MSI or Worlds, I'm like, oh yeah, those are the teams that get put into the groups that everybody just
beats up on and gets
freelo on. Yeah. But watching the first weekend of play-ins, Gigabyte Marines look like a stellar team, especially when you see what they're doing to other teams and other regions that aren't as popular. They are just dominating the early game. 7-minute tower takes in the bot lane, and then using that pressure to transfer to mid or top to dominate in other lanes. Like going 4-man down bot at the 7-minute mark, game after game after game, just to throw off the other team's bottom lane and just keep them from being able to lane in CS is putting every team out of kilter.
So we'll give you a little backstory on Gigabyte Marines, and granted this is from a North American LCS standpoint because I too don't watch the Vietnam series, but from what I pick up and what I've read, Gigabyte Marines is basically the Vietnam area's all-star team. Last year they took the best top laner, best jungler, best mid, best support, and best ADC, lumped them all together, put them on a team to see what would happen, and well, they went 12-0. Yeah. They won their region's tournament. They went to another 6-country region tournament and won that.
The GPL.
Yeah, won that hands down, like 3-0, swept them. They brought their brooms with their all-stars and they crushed it. They're headed by their mid laner, Optimus, who everybody calls OP Timus because they said that has clutch kill plays and can really end games. And so he's OP. And that was their main front runner. So coming into MSI, everybody was looking forward towards Optimus's playstyle. And now the person that they said that Optimus most represents on a world scale, you would think that it would be Faker, the number 1 mid laner. But no, a lot of people from that region say that his playstyle best represents Bjerg, who he will be playing against come this weekend.
They say that he matched him because he likes the type of champions and playstyle that he uses.
Same champion, same playstyle.
And we saw a lot of that in this weekend. Like
you did.
The Echo plays, the LeBlanc plays, just shutting down other teams. Yeah. And then the synergy coming out of their jungle too.
So that's their high note right now.
It's very reminiscent of the way Svenskeren and Bjergsen play together on TSM, which means that this next weekend's going to be pretty intense. So
Gigabyte Marines jungle was not touted as well as their mid laner. He was actually like their third node. Coming into the tournament, it was Optimus mid laner is their best player on their team. Second best player would have been Stark, their top laner, and then third best would be Levy, their jungle. Right now, Levy sits on top of the MSI leaderboards with the highest KDA, and he is crushing it. And his Lee Sin games are kind of scary. His dragon steals, that he had one dragon steal that I'm pretty sure was, I think it was 0.5 seconds. He dashed into the dragon pit and back out in under a second, all while smiting. So he did a Q to a W, or a Q smite W combo in less than a second. I mean, that's some face rolling, finger typing OP-ness right there.
And the fact that he was able to pull that off, you could tell that the enemy jungler was just stuck. Shocked. How did that happen?
Yeah, they're literally surrounding that dragon. He found the one area that they weren't covering, and he was in and out in less than a second. That's impressive, and he's crushing it.
You can tell he practices that.
Yeah, he is crushing it. So Levy coming in against TSM would be a huge matchup to watch.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how that plays, because this weekend they showed that I think he had like a 73% kill participation.
Yeah.
So that's definitely on par with the way we've seen Svenskeren, which I don't even think hit into the 70s.
No,
I think he ended at like low 60s, high 50s. And getting a 9.3 KDA, showing that he's there to make the plays. He's all over the map. Very reminiscent of Peanut.
So I mean, if you have Optimus is their team's Faker, then Levy is definitely their Peanut. It's crazy. Gigabyte Marines matches up so well against TSM on paper. Their top 3 lanes are TSM's top 3 lanes. Their weak link is their bot lane, just like TSM. But unlike TSM, they funnel all of their attention into bot lane, going for that early tower, that early lead, to just try to pad bot lane up and then hope that they can, CS and gold their way out of it. I don't know if, Wild Turtle is going to be ready for that. The Turtle Frost, I don't know.
The Bio Turtle?
The Bio Turtle or the Turtle Frost. I don't know if they're going to be ready for that much bangarang attention in under 10 minutes. It's going to be a lot of pressure. They've had more time to prepare. So TSM is definitely in a preparation standpoint. Yeah. They're the Batman of their group right now. So I mean,
whereas Gigabyte has a great, strong early game, TSM has shown that their late game is downright unbeatable. If you can get that team into late game, they can shut out a game.
Yeah.
That's what they've proven series after series, especially after giving up game 1 in almost every match, just to show that, hey, game 2 and 3 are all us.
Yeah. So
and that experience of longer games, I think, is going to help them.
Plus they're playing a best of 5 series, which falls right under the TSM wheelhouse of we can do this, where Gigabytes hasn't had to play that best of series in a while, let alone a best of 5. So I mean, it's really good for TSM. Granted, let's say worst case scenario, TSM loses, they're not out of it, because the loser of TSM and Gigabyte Marines plays against the loser of Supermassive and Flash Wolves to see who gets that final spot. So it's not over with for either team if they lose out, which moves us on to our next group, which is Flash Wolves and Supermassive. Flash Wolves, everybody knows as the team that's beat SKT the most on a world stage. I think they beat them 3 times, twice at MSI last year and once on the world stage during groups. So I mean, Flash Wolves, nobody to sneeze at. They're a tough group, one that North America has had a good time against. We've been lucky enough that we've been able to beat them a few times, C9, CLG. So I mean, we've all had our chances at them, but they're playing against Supermassive, and Supermassive comes from the Turkey region, and we say Turkey region because they don't say the Turkey the country, but it's literally just Turkey in that region. And Supermassive has a Supermassive following. Their number 1 player from their region, their MVP from their region, is Dumbledore, who is a support. So you don't see too many supports winning split MVPs. If you guys might know Dumbledore, he is a household name because he is the guy in 2015 MSI that flash faker under tower level 1 to get that last hit, and and he got that first blood on faker. So I mean, literally that's his fame
as a support.
On Janna, no less. He's widely known for his bard play. He's a great support.
He's also known for being able to do weird combinations in bot lane and giving his team the advantage in picks and bans because they can flex a lot of champions you wouldn't believe down into that support lane. I think in this last split, he had games where he was on Ashe, he had Camille. I mean, he had players he shouldn't have been playing, let's just be honest.
Yeah, he even played Camille already in MSI. So
I mean, you can't fault him for the T of being creative, and that creative may be what sets them apart and gives them the advantage.
He roams a lot. He's hardly ever in lane, which sucks for his ADC, but his ADC is used to playing solo 1v2 all the time. Dumbledore, he's somebody to keep your eye out for. Another key player on Supermassive would be Fabulous, their top laner, who has a Fabulous awesome name. So I mean, he's good. So their top laner is very good. A lot of KDA participation. He's there for his team. Even when he plays tanks, his TP and stick in lane prowess to help push objectives is really, really good.
I'm going to say, of the 2 games that we're looking forward to next weekend, between Supermassive and Flash Wolves, I'm going to call Flash Wolves 3-1.
I'm calling Flash Wolves over Supermassive, but I also say Supermassive makes it into MSI. Like, even though they're going to lose,
they could take out?
I think either team that they end up playing against, out of the Gigabyte Marines or let's say TSM, either one of them, I think Supermassive, they're doing really well, man.
They're doing really well, but I have to say that it's so close on the TSM Gigabyte Marines that I don't want to call it one way or another because it's definitely going to be a 3-2 game.
It is going to be a close one. I want to say that since TSM has the extra lead-in time, the extra preparation, a fantastic coach in Parth, that I think that they can Batman themselves into a win. Like, no matter who they're playing against, it doesn't matter if they're Batman v Superman. If you give it enough time, they're going to find some kryptonite knuckle dusters and bust them up. So I want to say TSM wins. And I think if TSM wins, you're going to see Gigabyte Marine on their first ever losing streak, where they lost now multiple games.
And you think it's going to demoralize them?
I think so. Plus, they have to play a best of series, which is something that they have not had to do on a regular basis. And
they did at the GPL.
That was best of 3 though. It wasn't best of 5. Best of 5 is a longer series of matches. It's a longer series of matches to start questioning yourself, to get worn out. Plus, they've played a lot of matches just to get in this. And we're not even into the group stage of MSI. So there's a lot more to go. And these teams that have to play in, it's a long road. And it's just a long road. I really feel like if Gigabyte loses to TSM, they will lose to Supermassive, because I don't see Flash Wolves losing. If Flash Wolves does by chance lose to Supermassive, Flash Wolves is definitely in. Either one of those teams, I definitely see as an MSI.
Well, can't wait till next weekend. This is actually what I've been looking forward to, is seeing how TSM will perform on the world stage, because that's going to set the pace for coming in summer when Double Lift is back.
It's just the pace for everything. If TSM doesn't perform well on a world stage, if they don't perform well now, what is that going to say for the rest of North America? Because if we're all vying for that top spot, and we're all fighting for that top spot, and we got a couple of teams that are really, really close, if TSM goes to MSI and puts up a goose egg, then really we're going to have to question every other North America team, because for us, it's not about winning North America. Who cares about winning North America? We need us a world title. We need somebody.
We need to host that.
Yeah, we want to be in the finals. Like, I want to see CLG versus SKT at MSI. I want to see another North American team against, a team like SKT, because it's a huge deal, and we haven't been able to compete at the world stage. I mean, crap, guys. Even EU has a world championship, and we don't. And that's frustrating. Crazy frustrating. So, hopefully, I'm not a TSM fan, but I am North America. And right now at MSI, that is our only flag and our only banner. So, I mean, go TSM. Go Hanser the Monster. I'm counting on you, bro.
That's going to be it for this week. We're going to end on some highlights. And we're just going to see if, TSM can hold out and give us that glory for North America.
Yeah, because it's not even hold out. I mean, this is just to get in. This is play-in to get into the tournament. This isn't even the tournament yet. Because then you got 2 rounds of double round robin. So, I mean, come on, TSM. Don't let me down. I will hate you till the day I die if you lose.
You already do.
Yep. If you lose, I'm going to burn anything that I see that has TSM on it, because it's so sad. I will start calling them the EU of North America. Just right now. Just TSM, you better win.
Well, drop us a like or a comment. Let us know how we're doing. We'll see you guys on the Rift.
Yep. GG.
GG.